Hello.
Hi,
Yes, Sangeeta ji. How are you?
I'm good. So let us start the conversation.
Yes, yes. And I'm really obliged and very thankful that you have
Uh,
invited me on your network. Uh, really thankful for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abhi. Let me stop this music.
Yes, yes, yes.
Just switch off your video for a few times till I invite you.
Yep. Okay.
So, hi everybody. Today we are blessed to have somebody who is a business coach and certified NLP practitioner who teaches the tricks as to how to lead a bold life. Doesn't it attract you also? And that is what inspired me to talk to him today for everybody's benefit also. He is an engineer by profession and in a mission to bring out the entrepreneurial spirit in the business coaches like us, and he wants to do so in 10,000 people like us. So we have somebody awesome in our circle, I think so. And we all aspire to be our own boss, right? And he has huge experience of doing so with 500 plus business entrepreneurs already. And so now I'll be inviting Amit Arora, the business coach, with this awesome profile to share with us about his journey, how he started, because he is an engineer by profession. So, how has it been, Amit? Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really, really blessed that uh, people like you are there for the support of others, and they want to inspire others so that they can take charge of their life. And what I always believe in and what I always say is live a bold life. Start living a bold life from today. It's within us and it's always with us. But the important thing is to realize that everything is within us. The day we realize it, the moment we realize it, that's a flip second change.
Yeah,
It's a flip second change.
that is so profound.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So as you were saying that how my journey started, and I'll share a story, and because I love talking in stories, and this is how I believe that people understand and relate with you more. So let me take you back to my journey. 16 years, I would say 20 years ago, when I was just thinking that I would be doing my own business, and I would be, and it was very, I would say around in 10th or so. I had an idea that I'll have my own chain of restaurants. From where I got that idea, I don't know. And did I believe in that? I'm not sure. But as everything happens in a middle class life, and as things move on, it's like you dream of something, but life is happening to you. You have your parents with you, you have your peers with you, you have your own brother and sister with you. Now, how can you think of that? There's so much to do, Amit. You need to focus on your studies. Yeah, absolutely. I'll focus on my studies. Yes, no worries in that. But this is my dream. And during those days, back in 1996, there was no kind of outlet like McDonald's or KFC. Still, I was thinking of that way. But as I move on, I got decent marks in my 10th exams. Okay, yeah, it was okay. And then it was like, now you have got good marks, get a non-medical or medical, be an engineer or doctor. That is what life is in India. Now, be an engineer or doctor. And then I decided, okay, my friends are taking non-medical. I'm good in maths. Let's take non-medical. Let's be an engineer. Okay, the life again passed on. It moved on. The two worst years of my life, plus one and plus two, were the worst years that I could remember in my life. I was not able to understand what is happening. I'm going out every day, I'm going to school, I'm going to college, I'm going to tuitions, and there's so many things happening around me, and I'm not sure what is happening around me. And then eventually I cleared the exam, got into engineering college. First day, my dean asks me, okay, now you're an engineer. What are your plans? Where do you see yourself? And my first response was, I want to be out of this college. I don't want to be an engineer. And she was like, how can you say that?
Yeah.
Yes, I made a mistake. I know that I made a mistake, but getting into this thing, I need to take steps to come out of it. And that is where I realized, okay, me as a person is always inclined to be something, doing something of his own, or to manage people, or to move into the places. And that is where I realized. And then those 4 years, and then was the preparation of getting into a good college in MBA, and I did that. And gracefully, I got a great college where my professor Pillai, he's founder director of ACM HRD and then ACM Italy. He inculcated in us the entrepreneurial spirit. Be your own boss in your life. Don't get a job, deserve to be in a job, deserve to have a life. So that was the thing, that was the beginning of the seeds that were inculcated in me, that had already been there. Yeah, that had already been there, but they came out. So yes, as I had to take education loan to get into that, and then the story moved on. I had to get into a job, and then suddenly, 2009, the market started crashing, and I was in NBFC. People were starting losing jobs. That was the time I realized I had a dream and I had to follow that. So that was the time when I started with my first outlet. And now the journey, how a first outlet was thought about. During my college days, the summer internship was there, and everybody was getting into good brands. Somebody was in Procter and Gamble, or somebody was getting into some great companies. And I was the one, no, I need to understand the entrepreneurship. So I found a company started by my senior, Jumbuck Restaurants in Mumbai. It was a very small company during those days. Just had around 15 to 20 outlets. But I wanted to learn something. So I got an internship into that. Yeah. So from there on, I knew something about it, how to have a business, something. And 2 months are not enough to know. But yes, I got an idea. So when the things now when I wanted to start, I was just looking there. Oh, how to start, and I wanted to have something a great brand. I wanted to build a brand around sandwiches. So now again, people would ask me, "Did you know anything about sandwiches?" No, I did not even know what is the white sauce that goes into that sandwich. What is that called? What is mayonnaise called? And from there, 14 outlets within 3 years. It's not about how you reach there. And when you start, you don't work on your house, you work on your what. You work on yourself. You think about, okay, what inspires me? And you build a niche around it. And this is for every business. Now, life had to happen again with a fast paced life that was there, the fast-paced growth that was there within us, the ship sank. We got an investor before sinking of a ship. We got an investor who invested 1 CR into a project, and thereon we had to grow, but opposite happened. Opposite happened, and we were just had no idea how the things were going haywire. So I just moved out of that business after 4 years of into that business. I just moved out of that. But did that stop me in any ways? No, it cannot. Because you learn from your experiences, you learn from your failures. Until the time you don't, you will keep on making the same mistakes that you have already done. Till the time you realize, okay, this is the thing that you need to learn from that. And from there, you move on. Again, I started my business. Again, before starting my business, I had to go back into a job. And I got a senior manager, a senior position in as a branch manager in Tata Batteries. I was handling Mumbai area, Mumbai region. So again, but that spirit of entrepreneurship did not die. I came back within 1.5 years or so. I came back to my business again. So it was like, and when I was giving the interviews, and I was at one of the interviews, and the person said, "Oh, Amit, we cannot take you." I have why? Because once an entrepreneur is always an entrepreneur. Oh my God, great man. You have realized that. Thanks for not taking me. So I was back in business with bank, and now I was more cautious of the things, how to. So the growth was slower because I now focused on how to do that, how to build up.
Now you are focusing on how.
Yeah. And now I was focusing on how. Well, again, okay, the life went ahead. I was again working, and I had comfortably 7 to 8 outlets again, and I was very comfortable sitting in universities and IT companies, and it was a risk-free business, a very risk-free business now, because every year a new batch of students is coming in, every year new employees are coming in, and you are as fresh as you can be. But the COVID happened. And the last thing to open up was still the IT companies are closed. They're still not open. And universities are working. Now they have started working well. But till around 4 to 5 months back, it was just half of the strength that was coming to the universities. Yeah. So that was the decision I had to make. And I got time. Everything is shut. Now what you have? You have time. You realize what you are and what you want to be and where you want to grow. And that was the time I realized I always wanted to be out of this business. And I wanted to do something different in my life. I went into many certifications after that. And once I started working on my mind, on my mindset, the thing that came up was NLP. That was the very first course that I went through. Then law of attraction, then many other courses that I went through. Positive psychology, emotional quotients, EQ, and all those things. You name it, I've done it. I have all those certifications. But what I realized from that is it's the ability. When you realize your ability, that you have something more in you, that is the flip second moment when you transform yourself. It's not a journey that you would say, oh, it might take me 10 years, 20 years when I'm doing this thing, I might transform myself. Negativity is kind of a thing that I cannot come out of. It's a process. No, it's a flip second decision you make. Yeah. So while I was doing a course of NLP, I realized that there is something more in me. I can be an author. I started out by writing, okay, I'll write 20 to 30 pages of something that I know about and I'll share with people. But as it progressed, it became a book of more than 100 pages.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And within 4 months, I became a published author.
Wow.
And never in my life, Sangeeta ji, never in my life I have written more than 3 pages of an essay or any question that I in my life. I'm not done anything.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
can understand that.
again, if I would have went into the house of becoming an author, I would not have done it.
Yes, yes. Very true.
House always stop you.
Yes.
The whys take you forward. The whys take you forward. The whats make you work on that. And then you focus on to the things. Okay, now my why is clear. Now my what is clear. Now I'll think what is my next step. And I'll not figure out how I will reach to my destination 20 years ahead of that. Yes, that's the vision you see. That's the vision you see. But that is not how you move ahead. You just focus on to the next step, the very possible next step. You break it down. And this is my journey of becoming an author. This is my journey of becoming a coach. This is my journey of becoming how I reached to the level that I am here after 2 years of investing whatever I could, my time, my money. And again, if you would say that I had no problem, my business was shut. I had to pay the debts. I had to pay everything. Investing on me was very difficult. It was not an easy job, but I took a jump into that. I put a full faith into my abilities, and yes, I can. And this is how now I have transformed many lives with that. So this is how the journey went.
So, so much I resonate with you,
Yeah.
Amit. Like say, even the exact words also came to my mind when I started this journey of being a digital coach, and
Yeah.
the exact thing. And so many things also got resolved when you were explaining the what and why of your journey. And actually, I don't want to stop you because I want to hear more from you as to please go on how
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have created this bold life. No, one question which comes to us, no, so many times. Maybe other
Yeah.
people also think about the finance, right? And you said you
Yes.
were in a NBFC, which is a
Yeah.
non-banking finance company. Because I
Yes.
also come from, otherwise, apart from being a digital coach, I am a livelihood consultant also. Also, I
Uh-huh.
deal with microfinance organizations. So
Okay.
I know a bit about NBFC. So I know that you finance wouldn't have been very difficult for you. So that is what I
Yeah.
understand. But what about
Yes.
you? Please go ahead and please explain everything.
Yes. 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 So when I started my business, my first business, uh, the investment that I made was just 2 lakh of rupees. And how did I manage that with just 2 lakhs of rupees? I
So
started small.
it was,
I
yeah,
started
yeah.
small.
Again, the words are resonating, starting small.
Yeah.
So was it
Yes.
in 1996?
No, it was in 2008. 2008, my first 2009, my first outlet came up. It was in one of the universities, a lovely professional university, Jalandhar. So from there, we started our journey. And and what I did, I managed all the costs. I managed all the things, restricted my menu to a specific thing.
Okay.
And that is why every time in life, We say that have a niche, have a specialty.
Yes.
And now niche is a very common word used in our digital world.
Yes.
Before that, we always used to say the USP. What is your unique selling proposition?
Right.
So this is, you always need to have that your USP, your specialty, your focus. Now, wherever your focus goes, your energy flows, and everything falls into a place. Now, I was very sure that I need to create that chain. So everything that came up around me. So when NBFC closed, I moved to a city where I could found a big universities. And I could see, yes, if I get some small outlet in this university, I will be able to start my business. And that will be a profitable business because students are there. And when students are there, they have money to spend without thinking much. So always I went ahead and get into captive markets. Getting into captive markets with a small investment is always great to start any business. Now, even if we think of digital media, now use a channel, Facebook or LinkedIn, you get into a captive market. What are these? These are just captive markets where you engage your audience. You don't waste your time on Facebook. Till the time I did not know how to use Facebook or LinkedIn to my profits, I was never into that. 2 years back, I did not exist even on any social media. The day I knew how to use it for my profits, I'm there. I don't consume things, I use things for me.
Yeah,
And that is my mantra of life. Be simple, be reasonable. You can don't be consumer of the things, use the things for your profit. And again, how that resonated, you would know. I never wrote a 3-page essay, but I could be an author.
Yes.
Use yourself. You know, what's the use of writing a 5-page essay and getting only 5 marks out of 10? Oh, be okay with 3. Be okay with 3 pages. So same as that. Now, when once I knew that I can write and this was coming, flowing inside from me, the ideas, the thoughts, the experience was flowing inside from me. It kept on. So that is a simple thing. First important thing is, don't be a consumer of things, be a user of things. And when you think that you will find a way to do something, you will definitely find a way. But if you keep on passing the buck for whatever is happening or not happening in your life, if you keep on blaming the situations or people for that, you will never be able to achieve anything. You have to take the responsibility. And what is that responsibility? If you break the word responsibility, it's the ability to respond. It's the ability to respond to a situation. If you think that you have the ability to respond to the situation, whatever situation is in front of you, you are able enough, and everybody is able enough to respond to a situation. Now, how you respond to a situation, that depends upon you. If you keep on passing the buck, I don't have money, I don't have that. Oh, if my father would have been rich, I would have been able to do that. If my family would have given me that much of money, I would have been able to do that. Had my circumstances been great, I would have done that. Till the time you will keep on passing on the buck of your problems, nothing will happen in your life. The day you make a decision that yes, I need to do something, you will buy, borrow, beg, steal, do anything, you will do it. You will do it. And that's the only mantra of becoming what you want in your life. For me, earning money or being successful, or this has a very different definition for everybody. Someone would find a pleasure in helping others, helping the community, helping some anything that would be a success for them. For someone, being $100 billion business would be a success for them. Or for somebody else, there's a different definition for being successful. You cannot say compare anybody with anybody. It's your why. And that is why I say you start with your why. You start with that clear why. And then you focus on your what's. And then the last thing that comes is how, next step. And the how is only for the next step. It's not for 20 years.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, yes. That is a possible movement for me. Not for
Yeah.
20 years, but next right step.
Yeah. The next right step. And everything happens with a consistency. It is not that I became successful overnight, even in the first business or within the last 2 years. The journey I had gone through. It's a difficult journey. It was not easy when everything is shut down and you have your responsibilities, you have your family, you have everything with you, you have your workers with you who are dependent upon you. You had every bit of responsibility. And taking a step from there, okay, now I don't want to enter a business. That was a decision to make. And I took that decision in my life. And again, a beautiful quote normally that people say, decisions make you or break you. Decisions can never break you. No decision can break you. It will always be a learning for you. Again, why I say decisions will always make you, because whatever result came out, whatever consequence that came out, you take the responsibility of that. And when you take the responsibility of that, you work for the next step. So decisions can never break you. Only you can break yourself, not your decisions.
Not the decisions. So your all the next steps are clearly cut out for you already, Amit? Or
How can I say that?
yeah. No.
Only the next possible step is clearly cut out for me. Yeah. Only the next very possible step. For me, what I do consistently, from starting my journey to be a digital coach, I knew nothing. And even that, I did not know what is digital coach altogether. Yeah. When I started the journey, I just wanted to share my experience. And this is how I started my business. And this is how you can also. So this is from where the journey started. Now, how to reach to that market? I started learning about the social media. And there were many things that were happening around me. There were many mentors, many coaches there I could see in this world. But when you are focused to find the right person in your life, you will find that right person who will actually help you. So the journey happened. I invested in first the Tony Robbins coach things. And again, a great thing that happened. I never knew about Tony Robbins. But I was the person who invested on that. 2 years back, if you would say, Amit, many people told me that we listened to Tony Robbins. And I said, I have never listened to Tony Robbins. I don't know who's Tony Robbins. And they were still listening to the Tony Robbins on their whatever YouTube videos and all that. And I invested on it. So I personally could invest on UPW course. I could personally invest on World Summit. I could personally invest on those things. And he was at my home because he was sitting at my laptop. I did not go to him. He came to me because of COVID. No,
Yeah.
the world happens to you. When you are focused, the world happens to you. Things
Great way,
happen for you.
great way to see things with the difficulties also.
Yeah.
So yeah. And who are your target audience right now?
My target audience is majorly the people who are stuck and are ready to jump into their own coaching or own business. So this is where I impact people, and this is where I guide them. I start with spiritually helping them to clear their whys in their life. And again, how this journey happened to me, why I started spiritually with the things. My first client was a spiritual coach, Natesh Mahadevan. And as I'm always open to learn new things, so he said to me, Amit, I'll invest in you, I'll invest in your course, but you also need to go through my course as well. I'm always open to it. I would love to. And simultaneously, I was guiding him and he was guiding me. And then the day I realized, yes, a person doing any kind of business, any kind of job, any kind of thing can be stress free in his life, can be anxiety free, can be living a bold life. And from there on, the concept of being stress free and living a bold life came in. And every day, when you, in every moment, when you see the things as they are, things change from there. Now, you don't need to go deep into it. You just, if I say, Sangeeta, just there's a wall in front of you, and suddenly there's a perception around it. We see the things according to our perceptions or according to the experiences, whatever learnings that we had, whatever environment that we're in. And for somebody, the wall is a roadblock. For somebody, the wall is a beautiful painting in front of him, or a beautiful canvas where he can paint on. A wall can be anything to anybody. But if you see the things as they are, okay, this is the wall. To travel out of it, I need to take a detour. I can move from here, I can move from there, or I can create a beautiful painting out of it. That's it. A wall is a wall. So when you see the things as they are, you are living that moment. You are into that moment. You are not thinking about the past, you are not thinking about the future. You're just seeing the things. And when you see the things, by taking the responsibility and not passing on the buck, you are stress free. You know, the situation is, can I take control of the situation? If yes, I'll take control. If no, I cannot do anything. I'll move. That's it. But yes, you need to have a practice, a daily practice, a consistent practice to take a pause, to be in stillness so that you can see the things as they are.
So, I have a question coming to my mind right now. Like this, many of us, like say, have heard that if you can take control, then please take control. If there is nothing to be done, then you can't do anything. So move ahead. But figuring out that alternative course of action has been a difficult thing for many of us, and maybe we have to take that pause and be within ourselves to figure out that alternative thing, but immediately it doesn't happen. It is not a second nature to many of us. So what is that one hack that you can share with us which pushes us to that alternative course instantly, not wasting
Yeah,
time on getting stuck?
absolutely, absolutely. See, what happens, Sangeeta? Now, we all talk about the patterns, the chakras, everything is
Yeah.
being going around. And what is exactly a chakra? Chakra is a cyclical pattern that you keep on going in your life. The same thing will trigger you again and again. We have all pet triggers for us. For somebody, money would be a trigger. For somebody, success would be a trigger. For somebody, emotional decisions would be a trigger. For somebody, relationships would be a trigger. Now, once we realize that we are in a cyclical pattern,
Yeah. Okay.
once we realize that we are in certain pattern, and it's us who have to be out of this pattern, we can come out of that pattern. Most of the time, if we take a science of NLP or I take a science of spiritualism, what NLP does, it breaks you out of your pattern with the techniques, a swish technique, or with a thoughts technique. You are flowing inside happy thoughts that are flowing inside you. So the negative thoughts are out. And spiritualism, you instantly take a pause. And that becomes a second nature. And once you take a pause, let us consider a situation. A person is very depressed, but is that person depressed while he's sleeping? Cannot be. That means he's taking a pause. Even if he's sleeping for 1 hour, for that 1 hour, he's not depressed. That means he can do that. He can be out of his depression. Important thing is realizing that pattern. And how you realize it, for me, what I do and what is the practice we went through, it's a spiritual practice that you do a silent meditation without any guiding meditation, without any guidance or without any music, without anything. Just sit silent within yourself at least 3 times a day. And that's a pause you are taking in your life. Let the thoughts come and let the thoughts go. You are not taking control of the thoughts. Just they are flowing. Thought is coming, thought is going. As a guest would come into your house and you are not entertaining that guest, what that guest would do, you will just move out of that house. You are not pushing that guest out. You are not stopping that guest to come in, but automatically he will move out. You are not entertained. You are not given anything to him, and you are just not responding to him.
Yes.
And once you take control of that thoughts, once you know that you can do that, because situation will always be a situation. There is no meaning attached to it. We already know that. There's no meaning to a situation. Only our perceptions and experiences put meaning to that situation. And we create a hell out of it.
Yes.
For a moment, if somebody would say, I'll take again an example here in my life. A few days back, my father was not in a very great shape. He had to be hospitalized. So I was there during that situation moment. I was shifting to Bangalore from Pune. So my family was there. the household items had still not come to Bangalore, and it was in a transition period. And I got a news that my father is not had to go to hospital, and he will have to stay there. Now I could have left everything and just ran towards my father. I wanted to say, but I knew that if I do that, my kids and my wife are here, and even if I go there, my mind will be here. So what I did in that situation? Okay, what are the alternatives? So my brother-in-law was there. I told him, be there, my father, for one day. Let me settle out the things, the basic things here, and I'll be there. I went there, and I could not believe how much weight my father had lost in that moment during those days. So the first reaction was for me, oh, what should I do? As a son, I literally felt crying there. But if I had done that, it would have made the situation even worse for him. So on the way to hospital, when I landed there in Chandigarh, what I did, I knew that my father was not eating anything, but what I did, I bought a kheer for him. That let me go and have a kheer with me. And I was ready with the thing. Okay, I have a kheer and I have something homemade food. My wife cooked in the morning, and we will have it together. And I was very clear that my father is not having it. But that moment of that situation, I could have done anything else as well. But I focused onto it. Okay, situation is he is not well. I know that. But what I can do now so that he is back in shape within 1 or 2 days. I focus onto that. And my first order, okay, dad, come on, come up from the bed. Let's have a kheer. Let's have some food. I did not give any reaction to whatever is happening with his body. I did not give any reaction to that. Yeah, dad, you will have to come up, get up, because if sitting like here and having the food of this hospital, you will not get well. We have to be out there by tomorrow. We have to be home. So get up. And within 2 days, he was back home.
What a conviction. So how?
So this is how you respond to a situation. Once you know that this is a situation. It can be any situation. Again, as I told you, COVID happened, I had to shut down all my outlets. And it was a big business that I had to shut down. Now, I could have served in a situation and imagined for the situations to get better before I get into a business, or I could have utilized that time. The responsibility is always lies with you, whatever you want to do. I hope you got the answer that you were looking for.
Yeah, very much and much more than that also.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now you are both, right? You are a owner of those outlets also.
No, I took a decision to close them out. I deliberately took a decision because the, your focus, your why changes.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is where again people make a mistake. Oh, I have been doing this thing all my life. How can I change it? Your vision changes, your whys change with time. And if you are open to it, you can do that. And you should do that. Your purpose, there's a purpose of our life. There's no purpose of our life. No. Whatever suits you at that time, you do that. Whatever makes you feels you great at that time, you do that. That thing that is making you happy, the thing that is making you comfortable within you, you do that.
So how is it? Like say the digital world and the outlet things, which has been your dream since
Yeah.
so long, since you
Yeah.
were a school kid.
Yes,
At
yes,
time
yes,
you
yes.
had this, and
Yeah.
that is kind of very surprising, having that kind of a vision, like
Yeah.
and not thinking about being a doctor or engineer. So many people
Yes.
think, but they cannot express at
Yeah.
that age.
Yes.
And you had a very clear vision
Yes.
of that, and I can see that you have clarity all along, no matter
Yeah.
whether it is your father's health, whether it is a decision to shut down something well established. Of course, COVID not withstanding so much thing, so many decisions
Yeah.
around COVID had to be taken, forced
Yeah.
ones. But again, you are saying that those are the circumstances. We need to see them. We need to
Yeah.
observe them and find out
Take
our
action.
own meaning, action. Yes. So, so suppose somebody comes, a person who is having the same dream as you
Yeah.
sometimes or right now. He yesterday only I was speaking to somebody, a cousin of mine. She
Mhm.
cooks well, but she can't be an entrepreneur per se. A little tweak, as you say, has to happen in her mind. It is the call of the hour in her life. She is not able
Yeah.
to realize that, but she will soon realize. So, if somebody comes, like say, how will you guide that person who is
Yeah.
a like say past? She is past her 40s, and
Mhm.
how would you advise?
Yeah.
Because you are a business coach, everybody knows. You
Yeah.
now are a digital coach that we know. But some people will be like that, will come to you.
Yes. Not some, Sangeeta. I would say 90% of people are stuck in the situations they're in.
Yeah,
Only 10% people take charge of it. Only 10% people start living a good life. And why does that happen? Again, the patterns, again, the thoughts, again, the limiting beliefs, and again, the hows of the things that we are stuck in. So, important is even if the person is good at something, doesn't mean that that person has to be in that field. We
okay.
need to understand what he is great at, what he is comfortable at, and what really pushes him, what really from the heart pushes him. So that is why my first part of the journey that happens in my course is just to make a person understand their why. Even if a person comes to me as a coach, okay, I'm a fitness coach and I need to train people and I just need guidance, I'll take him to the why of that. Because that is the only thing that will make his business sustainable over time. To make a business sustainable, you need to know your why you are into that. Otherwise, two setbacks come and you are out of it because you were not sure why you started that. What is pulling you? So once you're clear that let whatever setbacks come in my life, but I am standing for it. For me, it was not an easy journey when I started my outlets. I had to leave my well-paying job. That was a decision. I had to overcome my family's resistance. That was a decision. Standing for you in India, when you have been into a very comfortable environment. Okay, my father is there, my mother is there, taking care of every expenses of yours. and now 1.5 years you have starting earning of your, and then suddenly you know that there will be no earning, you will have to fall back to your parents again for some time. So making them understand, okay, this is a decision I'm making, please help me in that. To overcome that resistance is a very difficult thing. But once you know clearly why you are doing it, let any resistance come. Let you take any time, any sweet time. For somebody, it will be within 6 months, you start doing something good of your own. For some, it might take 1 year. For some, it might take 1.5 years. That's your journey, and everybody has a different speed to reach that journey. But once you know that why you are doing it and what are you doing, and you are just focusing on to your next possible step, things become easy. Now focus on to just next possible step. Bite-sized chunks you are taking. When the goal is big, there's a huge gap in where you are from where you want to be. Jumping becomes very difficult.
Yes.
But when you make it shorter, स्मार्ट गोल्स बहुत कॉमन डायलॉग है, स्मार्ट गोल्स है ना, वो स्मार्ट गोल्स बहुत कॉमन है लेकिन वो करता कोई नहीं.
Why? मतलब सभी कोई, हम तो इंसान हैं, like say we are on the same journey. कोई करके उस जर्नी में है, कोई नहीं करके जर्नी में है. Like why? Like say how, where do they stop and how somebody else has gone ahead. ये where is the difference?
Comparisons. No, when I started my journey and when I've been through one of the very good mentors, with Tony Robbins, then with Roddy Lee, and then with many other mentors. We all had a different journey when we started. Somebody are doing even greater than some people are doing that, and some even haven't started it yet. They have lost their way within that journey. Some are still struggling and some are doing great, and some are in the middle, or some are like me or something. So it's your journey. If you keep on making comparisons with others, who a person who has started 5 years back and you have started just 1 year or maybe just 4 or 5 months into it, and you compare yourself with a person who has been there 10 years now, so you will burden yourself with your own expectations. Nothing will happen to outside. You are burdening yourself with your own expectations. And when you need to have expectations when you're doing some action. You need to have some expectations. But if your expectations become burden, you are out of your business. You are out of your mind.
Yeah.
Then you can't do anything. Then you can't focus on doing anything. So have expectations. ना वो गीता का एक बहुत बड़ा, जिसको हम बिल्कुल ही मिस इंटरप्रेट करते रहते हैं, कर्म किए जा फल की इच्छा ना कर, जिसको जो हिंदी वर्जन है उसका, जिसको संस्कृत वर्जन आई डोंट रिमेम्बर दैट. लेकिन ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Even when Bhagavad Gita was being written, or when Krishna and Arjuna were having those dialogues, Krishna had an expectation that Arjuna will take up the arms. And that is why the whole Bhagavad Gita was written. Without expectations, you cannot do anything. But if you attach yourself to that expectation or the result, you are burdening yourself.
Sure.
You don't need to attach yourself to that result, because whatever result comes, you are taking that responsibility. That is why we come back to the responsibility. Yes. With every result, you are taking the responsibility. You learn from that result. Whether the result that came out, you wanted that or not. But if you didn't want that result, okay, what would have been better? You go back check, recalibrate, move on. But sometimes the result is there for you to take to a next journey. Had I not been open with my first client to understand, learn from him, would not have understood the real meaning of being stress free in life. So you need to open up, you need to learn, you need to understand from every situation that you are in.
There are so many situations from where to learn. Every day we are presented with those. And one thing for me has been very difficult is the expectation of others, because I somehow raise expectation
Yeah.
of others, and then um, there is very, let's say, you put yourself in a journey whether you like or not, and then no, it is like say again withdrawing yourself to your own journey. That
Yes,
happens
yes.
so many times, right? So that way we redefine the entire thing and get back to us.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is kind of a sometimes the guilt also comes that we are redefining a failure in some other way to keep ourselves afloat?
I'll just ask you to go back to that question again, the question you asked.
I, I like say somebody else's expectation, right?
Mm.
We get into somebody else's expectation because of some of our work, we have raised expectation of our well-wisher only,
Yeah.
and then
Now, did you
yeah,
find the answer in that, in your own wording?
so yes, like say recalibrating the word that you used,
You raised your own expectations for others because of your work. Who
and
did
then
the work? You did the work.
yeah, yes,
You did the work. You delivered something that is your thing, not somebody else's thing. Let others think what they want to think. You just focus on to your growth. If it's your failure, you are there taking your responsibility. If it's your win, you are taking care of your of your result, and you grow from there. From every result, you learn something, and you keep on growing onto it. What's the reason that I would what people think about me? What if that is a problem? If they have their expectations, let them have. No, you don't need to bother about that. That's their responsibility. That is their life. They are interested in our life. Let them be. We are interested in only in our lives, only in our journey. We don't know whether we are there tomorrow or not. The concept of birthing, the concept of beginness takes you into the expectations. Beingness. The moment you select me and I'm being, you are into expectations. The moment you realize that you are on this earth just to enjoy the journey, whatever time you have here, you just grow onto the things. You keep on focusing on things, onto the things that you can deliver.
yes,
Yeah. So for me, again, that me comes in, because even I am not come out of that of that me.
okay,
So, what important is you just understand what you can do good for yourself every moment. Every word you read is a journey that you are moving on. Every action you take is a journey that you can be on. And if you just write it down at the end of the day that this is the journey that you moved on today, and that gives you happiness, that gives you satisfaction, that's okay, that's great, because you learned something from that day and you moved on to the next chapter of your life.
Great, great. So coming back to your target audience again,
Yes.
because all the words that you are using, sometime or other I have used. So I kind of like say surprised that how much commonality that we both have. And when I started talking to people, my target audience, which is working professional, of course,
Yeah.
that they also are stuck. And how did I know that? Because wherever I travel, they were all creeping about their workplace. They're
Yeah.
criticizing their boss, the colleagues,
Absolutely.
and sometimes spouses also. It's like that.
Yes.
So 90% of time when you are traveling, what you are hearing is all those things.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
I was like that also. I was also criticizing when I thought, why people waste so much of energy criticizing others? Then
Absolutely.
I started asking myself, am I not doing the same thing? So
Yes.
even if I am not sharing with somebody, it is going inside my mind. So that is what I
Absolutely.
am
Yes.
hearing. So then I thought energy is not only wasted there, it is wasted
Yeah.
inside also.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I see myself as stuck that time.
Hmm.
So I am stuck in criticism and all. I was not looking at the solution side. The same
Yes.
with everybody, not looking at. So, but that is a sudden occurrence to my mind that I was stuck. I was not moving
Yeah.
because I was wasting my energy. I was not utilizing the energy elsewhere.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the same word I used for those people also. You are stuck. You are only
Yeah.
grieving. You can do lot better if you
Yeah.
use your energy better. So
Yes. Again, again the same phrase that comes in. Wherever your focus goes, your energy flows in that direction. If a person understands what are the things that we don't need to understand what is helping me to create more energy. If we just look at the things that what is stopping me, yeah, if we just focus on to that thing, what is stopping me, and create a problem around it, you will be stuck into that. We don't focus on the things. Okay, the next step, it's taking me along. It's taking me to a better situation. We don't focus on to that.
So how do you explain, like say, how does the other person understand that they are stuck? Because while they are inside that, without this self-talk,
Mhm.
they are not going to realize that they are stuck. They think that
Yes.
life is happening and life has been very terrible with them. That is what they
Yeah.
will be thinking. So
Absolutely.
how to
So
explain?
it's say Sankita, it's really not possible for a person, and they will not accept it. Within 15 minutes of talk or 20 minutes of talk, you can say that to a person that you are stuck because they are already stuck, and with this dialogue, they will be more stuck.
Okay.
So it's a journey that they have to go through. They are into some kind of journey. They are into some kind of pattern. Till you bring them out of their pattern, they won't realize they are there in pattern. Even with our parents, if I say them, you are going to mandirs and you going doing certain kind of puja in a certain way. Every day you are doing the same thing again and again. And did you find anything better in that? They would say, "Oh, you don't know how to do that. You don't understand what is praying and what is this and what is that, and you are telling us." You cannot bring that person out in this way until and unless they find that they are in such certain kind of cyclical pattern. You cannot say that you are stuck. Nobody will accept it.
How help them out?
The only way to help them out is let them go deep into them with their meditations, or let them accept the things that they are in and say, okay, write it down. What are the thoughts that come to you daily on a daily cyclical basis? Write it down, everything. Write it down. And always start with positive. What are your aspirations? Where you are seeing yourself? A person starts with a positive thought, then move on to the next step. Okay, what are the thoughts that are stopping you? And then bring the person, okay, what is your current situation? Now you know the situation where you want to be. This is your current situation, and these are the things that are stopping you. And once they know that, okay, these are the things that are stopping you, and most of the things that are stopping me is me, my own thoughts. There's nothing else outside that is stopping me. And once a person, even in the NLP, what we use, a person says the three basic terms of generalizations. He did not invite me to party. That means I am not a great person. That means he neglects me. And that means I am not a person who should be invited to a party. He will make a general statement. And when you say why you should not be, and then you take that person down. Okay, who says that? Because that person, that event happened in my life. That is why I am making this statement. When you break that down to the point where the person starts taking responsibility to himself. Okay, I was in that situation and I thought that this person has not said hello to me when I was in that party. I felt that I was not invited there. You break it down to the responsibility where a person can take that responsibility. That is through dialogues or through coaching sessions where you help people out. But once you take that person to the spiritual journey, he can understand his patterns within himself. That is where I say chakras are your own cyclical patterns. There is nothing like Mooldhara, Manipura, and you have to energize them by using the yantras and mantras and all those things. That is not a spiritualism for me altogether. This is your cyclical pattern. This is you do in a daily basis. And once you realize that you are in certain cyclical pattern, you start moving from Mooldhara to Sahasrara. Start moving to that. You start using your intuitions where Agnya Chakra is. You start moving to that, to higher chakras. And it's within you, again, nothing outside. And by doing a puja of certain kind of yantras, and if that has would have helped anybody, it would have done for them. Because we are looking the things outside and everything is within us. If I take somebody's arms away or legs away or everything away, the person is still alive. Even if you take the heart out of that person and implant a second heart, person is still alive. That means we are not body. We are not just our body. We are much beyond that. There is some energy that is keeping us alive. And still we can do anything. There's a person, Nick Sentoso. He comes to Tony Robbins events. He doesn't have arms and legs. But he's the best motivational coach and a bodybuilder with just one finger of his. What limitations do we have? We have everything with us. We have our mind with us. We have very sound mind with us. We have very sound body with us. But life is moving beyond body and beyond mind. That is where the real life is.
So great.
I hope I am not complicating the things. Yeah, but
No, not for at least me, because I'm hosting you, and I wanted
yeah,
to know all these replies, all these answers to my questions also, sometimes or other. Everything everybody knows. When the another person shares the experience, I say you really get the insight.
yeah.
That has been happening whenever you are talking. So I'd request you to share two more stories which has been kind of given you Volvo moments,
Yeah.
at least one, so that we can complete this interview with a very positive note, and I'll take
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. See, what I would start with is uh, how the process of things happen within you and within your life. We are always talking about the patterns, and I need to break out of that pattern. My first book was always on about this thing, how to break out of your patterns. But we don't realize while we're breaking out of a pattern, we are creating a new pattern for us.
Yes.
While breaking out of a pattern, we are creating a new pattern. Why not have no pattern at all? And when you are in no pattern, you can easily switch to a pattern and easily switch out of a pattern. Yeah?
So can we
Because
say
you are
that?
not attached to any pattern. If you want to be in a pattern, you can be in a pattern. And the moment you want out, cannot be out. We play so many roles as you would be playing as a wife, as you would be playing as a mother, as you would be playing as a coach, as you would be playing as a person, as a leader. We are playing so many roles in a day. Yeah. Now, if I attach myself to a role, a mother role, and if I carry that mother role to my clients, am I and with that frustration of my kid in my mind, can I help my clients? No, I'm not performing to best of my abilities at that time. And if I carry that tension, a pattern of my business to my family, am I playing that role in a best performing way?
Yeah.
When I need to be with my kids, am I with them? No. So when you don't attach yourself to any identity, and suddenly a CEO, if we remain the CEO even at home, even at every place, I have seen such things when I travel to lounges, to airports. People are stuck in their identities.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
way
yeah.
they talk to the employees there at the lounge or restaurants, they're still in that pattern, still in that identity of the, being a CEO or being a manager or being something in some other company. And you carry on that identity even at middle of night. आपको 2 बजे भी बैठ के वो काम चल रहा है.
Yes, yes.
Who says to do that? Can't you find that freedom for yourself? And how could I see that? Because I was in a pause and I could see the things happening around. And I could feel that people are stuck somewhere. So once you understand that if you don't attach yourself to any identity, you perform to the best of roles, any role that you play in your life, and you're playing a role as a mother, as a parent, as a guide, as a coach. You're just playing a role that has been assigned to you for that moment. And if you play best to that role and don't attach to it, you don't get into any pattern at all. A simplest possible way of not being into any pattern. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Any questions that comes to your mind for that?
there are so many other questions also, but maybe our audience will not get any relevance out of that. So I'll
Yeah.
get back to you with all
Yes,
those questions, because
absolutely.
this is, you know, I also deal with mine to some extent.
Yes.
So there will be deeper questions
Yeah.
regard to the audience that we have also. As I have
Yes,
asked
yes,
how the other person has to go in that journey so that he understands and rectifies
Yes.
himself herself quickly. That has been my burning problem right now. So that got answered to a huge extent, and I'm
Yeah.
so very thankful to you. You have explained.
I'm blessed that I had that opportunity to discuss the things with you. I'm blessed to do that. And
thank you so much, Amit, for being here in this show and clarifying so many things which has been in my mind for some time now. And
really, thanks
just
to whatever things that you're saying, and I'm saying that I'm really blessed that I could answer that, and
yes.
and you
Whatever you are
could
looking
get some.
for, the universe provides that for. So
Yeah.
this is an
Yes.
instance, like say right now it is happening. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, I'm really grateful. I'm really welcome. And I really felt a warm welcome the way you had put the questions, and the way you had brought the things out of me. That's your great, I would say, great ability to bring the best out of a person. And you were great at that. Love that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll definitely continue with the things.
Sure, sure.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, Sangeeta. Thank you.
Thank you.